The Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, or LTTE, emerged in the mid-1970s in Sri Lanka.
For decades, the Sri Lankan military has faced accusations of genocide. Yet substantial evidence points to the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, LTTE, as perpetrators of ethnic cleansing and numerous atrocities. A thorough, evidence-based review by the international community is essential to establish the truth before drawing conclusions. For 3 decades, the Sri Lankan military defended national sovereignty against a group designated as a terrorist organization by 33 countries, including the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, India, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and the 27 member states of the European Union. A balanced and informed assessment is critical to ensuring justice and historical accuracy. In countries such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, where Tamil diaspora communities hold significant influence, politicians often advocate for Tamil rights, sometimes aligning with the separatist cause of Tamil Eelam to resonate with their constituencies. However, the LTTE's documented record of massacres, bombings, robberies, ethnic cleansing, military engagements, and assassinations against both civilian and military targets demands scrutiny. Among the most notorious attacks attributed to the LTTE was the massacre of over 600 Sri Lankan police officers on June 11, 1990, in the Eastern Province. In a chilling execution-style mass murder, unarmed officers were killed in the jungles of Trincomalee, with some estimates placing the death toll as high as 774. Another devastating event was the Battle of Mullaitivu, where approximately 1,400 Sri Lankan service personnel and policemen lost their lives. Earlier, in 1987, the LTTE was responsible for the deaths of over 200 Sinhalese during the Trincomalee riots in the Eastern Province. The LTTE, a separatist militant group that fought for a separate Tamil state in Sri Lanka's north and east from 1976 to 2009, did not limit its violence to the Sinhalese population. Muslim communities in war-affected areas also suffered immensely. On August 3, 1990, the LTTE killed 147 Muslim men and boys at the Katankudi Mosque. Eyewitness accounts published in international outlets, including the New York Times, described victims kneeling in prayer when LTTE rebels opened fire. Similarly, the Aravar massacre saw over 171 Muslim men, women, and children murdered, according to government sources. The Paliagodela massacre, one of the largest against Muslim civilians, claimed approximately 285 lives, with village eyewitnesses reporting a 1,000-strong LTTE force responsible for the killings. The LTTE's campaign of violence extended beyond ethnic targeting to include devastating attacks on civilian infrastructure and public spaces. The Colombo Central Bus Station bombing on April 21, 1987, in Petta, Colombo, involved an 80-pound bomb that killed at least 113 people, injured 200, and left a 10-foot crater. The attack, timed to maximize civilian casualties during peak hours, destroyed 6 buses and trapped passengers in burning vehicles. The Central Bank bombing on January 31, 1996, in Colombo's financial district saw a lorry carrying 440 pounds of explosives detonate, killing 91 people and injuring 1,400, including foreign nationals. The blast caused widespread destruction, with at least 100 victims losing their eyesight. Religious and cultural sites were not spared. The Aranthalawa massacre of 1987 saw 33 young Buddhist monks, most of them novices, and 4 civilians brutally killed, marking one of the worst attacks on a religious community in Sri Lanka's history. The 1998 Temple of the Tooth attack in Kandy, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, involved a truck bomb that killed 16 people, including a 2-year-old infant, and damaged the sacred Buddhist shrine. The LTTE's disregard for humanitarian and spiritual sanctity underscored the brutality of its campaign. The LTTE's violence reached far beyond Sri Lanka's war-torn regions, targeting the commercial capital, Colombo, and even international figures. The assassination of Sri Lankan President Ranasinghe Premadasa on May 1, 1993, during a May Day rally in Colombo, claimed his life and those of 23 others. Similarly, the assassination of former Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi on May 21, 1991, in Tamil Nadu, India, by an LTTE suicide bomber killed him and at least 14 others. Prominent Sri Lankan politicians, including opposition leader Gamini Dissanayake in 1994 and Industrial Development Minister C.V. Gunaratne in 2000, also fell victim to LTTE attacks. The LTTE's tactics included aerial warfare and attacks on strategic assets. The downing of Lion Air Flight 602 on September 29, 1998, off Sri Lanka's northwestern coast, killed all 55 passengers and crew, with evidence confirming the use of a man-portable surface-to-air missile by the LTTE. The bombing of Air Lanka Flight 512 on May 3, 1986, at Colombo's Bandaranaike International Airport killed 21 people, primarily foreign tourists, in an attempt to cripple Sri Lanka's tourism industry. Rural communities also bore the brunt of LTTE violence. The Aluth Oya massacre on April 17, 1987, claimed 127 Sinhalese civilians, including women and children, in north-central province. The Ganegala massacre of September 18, 1999, in Ampara district saw over 50 men, women, and children hacked to death, with female LTTE cadres reportedly playing a significant role. The Kalarawa massacre on May 25, 1995, resulted in 42 deaths and led to the depopulation of the fishing village after survivors fled. The LTTE's systematic use of child soldiers further highlighted its disregard for international humanitarian law. Tamil children, both boys and girls, were forcibly recruited, subjected to military training, and deployed in combat roles. This practice, widely documented, added to the group's extensive list of war crimes. The LTTE's three-decade campaign of violence targeted Sinhalese, Muslims, Tamils, and others indiscriminately, spanning civilians, military personnel, religious figures, and political leaders. Unlike the accusations against the Sri Lankan military, which focus on alleged war crimes during the final week of the 2009 humanitarian operation, the LTTE's atrocities are substantiated by extensive evidence, including eyewitness accounts, photographic documentation, and scientific investigations of victims' remains. Reports from reputable international media and fact-finding missions, such as those by the International Center for Ethnic Studies, confirm the LTTE's targeted attacks on specific communities, often with the complicity of local Tamil collaborators. In contrast, allegations against the Sri Lankan military lack comparable physical evidence, such as verified remains, and rely primarily on oral testimony. The LTTE's consistent pattern of extreme violence over decades stands in stark contrast to the military's alleged actions, which are confined to a brief period. This disparity underscores the need for a rigorous, evidence-based examination to distinguish fact from narrative and ensure accountability for the true perpetrators of heinous crimes during Sri Lanka's civil war.